There is a truth about food that many people over 60 have never been told, and it is this. The very things that look safe, simple, and even comforting on your dinner table can sometimes be the things quietly stealing your health away. We live in a world where convenience is king. Walk into any supermarket, and entire aisles are lined with neat little cans stacked high, promising meals that last forever, cost less, and cook in minutes. They feel like lifesavers. But for millions of seniors, those cans are not lifelines, they are landmines. And today I want to show you why. If you are over 60, you know your body has changed. Food that once seemed harmless now has bigger consequences. A salty meal may make your ankles swell. A sugary snack may leave you more tired than energized. And a simple can of soup may raise your blood pressure in ways that threaten your heart. Aging does not make you weak. It makes you sensitive. Sensitive to the small, hidden things that day by day add up inside your body. That's why canned foods are such a hidden danger. They are everywhere and they feel safe. After all, if it's sold in every grocery store, how bad could it really be? But inside many cans, there are three silent threats that seniors can't afford to ignore. Salt, sugar, and chemicals. Salt that stiffens your blood vessels, sugar that spikes and crashes your blood sugar, and chemicals that disrupt your hormones, weaken your bones, and even increase your risk of cancer. You don't see them, you don't taste all of them, but they are there, and your body pays the price. Now let me be clear. Not all canned foods are harmful. Some can be part of a healthy diet, especially when fresh produce isn't available. But there are 5 types of canned foods that are so harmful, so consistently damaging, that seniors should avoid them at all costs. Because if you are over 60, eating these 5 can mean the difference between living strong and independent, or living tired, weak, and at risk of strokes, heart disease, and diabetes. Today I want to walk you through those 5 foods, and I'm not just going to list them. I want to take you inside the science, simple, clear, and practical, so you understand exactly what they do to your body. I want to share with you what I've seen in patients, men and women over 60, who thought they were eating something harmless, until their blood work, their blood pressure, and their bodies told a very different story. And most importantly, I want to give you alternatives, because it's not enough to say don't eat this. You need to know what you can eat instead. Foods that nourish your heart, strengthen your muscles, and protect your brain, without stealing away your health. So, let's begin this journey, because your pantry may be holding more danger than you realize. And if you stay with me until the end, you will not only know what to avoid, you will know how to replace it with foods that keep you vibrant, mobile, and alive, no matter your age. Before we dive into the first canned food, let's pause for just a moment. Imagine opening your cupboard tonight. What do you see? Maybe a few cans of soup, maybe some beans, maybe a stack of tomato paste for pasta night, maybe canned fruit for dessert. They've probably been sitting there for weeks, maybe months. They seem harmless, but think of this. Every time you reach for one, you're making a choice that either protects your heart or pushes it closer to danger. A choice that either supports your kidneys or strains them further. A choice that either fuels your muscles or slowly takes them away. Food is not just calories. Food is chemistry. Food is information that talks to your body, to your cells, to your genes, and the information inside those cans is often toxic, inflammatory, and disruptive, especially to seniors whose bodies crave balance more than ever. In my years as a physician and researcher, I've seen the quiet power of food. I've seen patients reverse high blood pressure, improve their blood sugar, and regain energy. Not through pills, but through simple changes in what they ate. And I've seen how removing certain foods, especially harmful processed foods, can do more to protect health than any medication. That is why I am passionate about sharing this with you, because you deserve to know the truth. And once you know it, you will never look at a can of soup or fruit the same way again. Now, let's begin with the first of the 5 worst canned foods for seniors. This is a food almost every home has, a food that feels harmless, even comforting. But for someone over 60, it is one of the fastest ways to raise your blood pressure and strain your heart. I'm talking about canned soups. Food number 1. Canned soups. Canned soup. It feels warm. It feels comforting. It feels harmless. Many seniors think it's a quick, easy way to get a meal on the table, especially on cold mornings or lazy evenings. But here's the truth. What feels comforting may actually be dangerous. For someone over 60, canned soup can quietly wreak havoc on your body, and the effects are cumulative, silent, and often invisible until it's too late. The first problem is salt. One standard can of soup can contain more than 200 milligrams of sodium. To put that in perspective, the American Heart Association recommends less than 1,500 milligrams per day for seniors. Just one can is almost your entire daily limit. And the salt doesn't just sit in your bloodstream harmlessly. It stiffens your arteries, increases blood pressure, and forces your heart to pump harder with every beat. Over weeks and months, this constant strain wears down the heart muscle itself. I once met a patient named Martin, a 68-year-old retired teacher. He loved his soups, chicken noodle, tomato, vegetable. His pantry was full of them. He told me, "Doctor, I feel fine, but my blood pressure keeps creeping up no matter what I do." When we looked at his diet, the culprit was clear. Nearly every day, Martin was eating canned soups loaded with salt. Once he swapped those soups for homemade versions with fresh vegetables and controlled salt. His blood pressure began to normalize within weeks. He told me, "I didn't realize something so simple could make such a difference." The second hidden danger in canned soups is preservatives. To increase shelf life, manufacturers add chemicals like monosodium glutamate, MSG, and hydrolyzed proteins. These can trigger inflammation in sensitive seniors, especially those with underlying conditions like arthritis or heart disease. Inflammation accelerates muscle breakdown, makes joints ache, and even contributes to fatigue. For seniors, every small increase in systemic inflammation matters, because their bodies are already less resilient than they were at 40 or 50. Canned soups also hide added sugars. Tomato-based soups, in particular, often contain high fructose corn syrup. Sugar spikes your blood glucose, causing energy crashes and putting strain on your pancreas and insulin system. For a senior, repeated sugar spikes can gradually lead to insulin resistance, which not only impacts weight and energy, but also harms circulation and even brain health over time. But it's not all doom and gloom. There is a way to enjoy soup without these hidden dangers. Homemade soup is simple. Start with fresh vegetables, lean proteins, and herbs. Avoid salt or use it sparingly. If you love canned convenience, look for low-sodium, preservative-free options. Or better yet, prepare batches on the weekend and store them in glass jars in the fridge. Even freezing in small portions works. That way, you get warmth and comfort without the hidden harm. Now, let's talk about a more subtle danger: texture and satiety. Canned soups are often thin, watery, and low in protein. That means they fill your stomach temporarily, but don't give your muscles the building blocks they need. Seniors already face sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle. Eating a bowl of canned soup, no matter how hearty it looks, often delivers only 3 to 5 grams of protein. Compare that to the 20 to 30 grams your muscles need at each meal to maintain strength. Over months, this small deficit adds up, and your leg muscles, arms, and core slowly weaken. You might notice it in subtle ways. Climbing stairs feels heavier. Standing from a chair takes more effort. Walking longer distances leaves you tired. I remember Anna, a 72-year-old grandmother. She told me she couldn't enjoy her daily walks anymore. Her legs felt weaker, and she feared falling. After reviewing her diet, we discovered she relied heavily on canned soups for lunch. By replacing just 1 can a day with a bowl of lentil and vegetable soup made from scratch, fortified with a bit of shredded chicken or tofu, she began to regain leg strength within weeks. She told me, "I feel like I have my legs back. I can walk to the park with my granddaughter again." And there's one more hidden factor: packaging. Some cans are lined with bisphenol A or BPA. This chemical leaches into acidic soups, like tomato-based soups, and acts as an endocrine disruptor. It can interfere with hormones that regulate muscle mass, bone density, and blood pressure. For seniors, chronic BPA exposure accelerates the very problems we're trying to prevent: frailty, weakness, and cardiovascular stress. So, to summarize, canned soups are dangerous for seniors because they often contain 1. Excess sodium, which strains the heart and vessels. 2. Preservatives and MSG, which increase inflammation. 3. Added sugars, which spike blood glucose and insulin. 4. Low protein, leaving muscles without the fuel they need. 5. Chemical leaching from cans, like BPA, which disrupts hormones and accelerates aging. The takeaway is simple: stop relying on canned soups as a staple. You don't have to give up soup entirely, but prepare it fresh whenever possible. Choose low-sodium options and make sure every bowl delivers the protein and nutrients your muscles, heart, and bones need to stay strong. Canned soups might feel convenient, they might feel harmless, but for seniors over 60, they are a silent threat to your independence, your energy, and your vitality. Avoiding them, or at least replacing them with healthier alternatives, can be the single most powerful change you make to protect your health and your mobility. Food number 2, canned meats. Canned meats. They are everywhere in pantries: Spam, corned beef, canned sausages. They're cheap, shelf-stable, and ready to eat straight from the can or with minimal preparation. For decades, they were considered convenient staples, even sometimes protein foods for seniors who didn't cook often. But what feels like convenience can quietly threaten your health, especially after 60. Let's start with what's inside. Canned meats are heavily processed and packed with nitrites and nitrates, chemicals added to preserve color and prevent bacterial growth. These chemicals sound harmless in small amounts, but studies show that over time, nitrites can damage the lining of your blood vessels, create inflammation, and increase your risk of cancer. For someone over 60, whose body's repair mechanisms are slower, even small, repeated exposure can have long-term consequences. I remember meeting George, a 70-year-old retired engineer. He loved corned beef for breakfast. It was easy, no cooking, no cleanup. He told me, "Doctor, I know it's processed, but it's protein, isn't it?" The truth is, while canned meats provide protein, the other components, the sodium, the preservatives, the hidden fats, create more harm than good. Over months, George began noticing fatigue, swelling in his ankles, and elevated blood pressure. Once he replaced canned meats with fresh chicken or fish, the difference was dramatic. Within weeks, his energy improved, his blood pressure began to stabilize, and he felt stronger walking short distances. Sodium is another hidden danger in canned meats. A single can of corned beef or canned sausage often contains over 1,500 milligrams of sodium. That is more than the recommended daily limit for seniors. High sodium stiffens arteries, makes your heart work harder, and increases the risk of strokes. For seniors already prone to high blood pressure, one can of meat can undo hours of careful dietary control. Beyond sodium and preservatives, canned meats are often high in unhealthy saturated fats. These fats contribute to arterial plaque, reduce circulation, and increase your risk of heart attacks. Remember, your heart doesn't age in isolation. Each meal you eat sends signals to your cardiovascular system. Processed canned meats tell your heart, work harder, push blood faster, store fat. Over time, this invisible stress can accumulate quietly, often without immediate symptoms. Canned meats are also low in the nutrients seniors need most. Yes, they provide protein, but they lack the minerals, antioxidants, and amino acids that fresh, whole foods offer. They don't contain magnesium, potassium, or omega-3s, which help control blood pressure, protect your arteries, and strengthen muscles. Relying on canned meats is like trying to fuel a car with a tank of low-grade oil. It might move, but it won't perform well, and long-term damage is inevitable. Then there's the hidden issue of digestion. Processed meats contain additives and binders that your body struggles to break down. For seniors whose digestive systems slow with age, these can lead to bloating, discomfort, and even gut inflammation. And as we know from decades of research, gut health is intimately connected to muscle health, energy, and immune function. If your gut is inflamed, your muscles won't recover properly, your energy will be lower, and your overall resilience declines. But there's good news. You don't have to live without protein. Fresh, lean proteins are affordable, versatile, and far more beneficial for seniors. Chicken, turkey, fish, eggs, tofu, lentils, and beans all provide protein without the hidden dangers of preservatives, sodium, and added fats. By swapping just one can of processed meat per day for a healthier alternative, you can reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and start giving your muscles the building blocks they need to stay strong. Let's return to George. Once he switched from canned corned beef to fresh chicken stir-fried with vegetables, he noticed more than just improved energy. His walking speed increased, he could climb stairs without stopping. Even his mood improved, because when your body gets proper nutrition, it doesn't just feel better, it functions better. Food is medicine, and the right protein fuels your muscles, your heart, and your independence. Another overlooked problem with canned meats is their environmental and chemical risk. Many cans are lined with BPA or similar chemicals to prevent corrosion. The acidic fats in canned meats can leach these chemicals into your food. BPA is an endocrine disruptor. It interferes with hormones that regulate muscle mass, bone density, and metabolism. For seniors, BPA exposure can accelerate muscle loss, weaken bones, and contribute to age-related health decline. In short, canned meats are a triple threat: high in sodium, loaded with preservatives and saturated fats, and prone to chemical leaching. For someone over 60, these dangers are amplified. Every can consumed regularly compounds the risk. It's subtle at first, you might not notice anything, but over months and years, it affects your muscles, your heart, your circulation, and your bones. So what's the solution? Avoid canned meats whenever possible. Replace them with fresh, lean proteins prepared at home. If time is short, frozen meats or fish are excellent alternatives. They retain nutrients, are low in sodium, and avoid harmful preservatives. Pair protein with vegetables and a healthy grain, and you have a meal that feeds your muscles, protects your heart, and supports your overall vitality. Canned meats might be convenient. They might even taste good. But for seniors over 60, they are one of the most dangerous foods lurking in the pantry. Avoiding them, or at least drastically reducing your consumption, is one of the most effective steps you can take to protect your heart, your muscles, and your independence. Food number 3, canned baked beans. Baked beans. Sweet, soft, and comforting. They've been a staple on plates for decades. For many seniors, a can of baked beans feels like a healthy choice. After all, beans are plant-based protein, rich in fiber, and full of nutrients. But here's the catch. When baked beans come from a can, the story changes dramatically. The first hidden danger is sugar. Most canned baked beans are soaked in thick, sugary sauce. One serving can contain 10 to 15 grams of sugar, or even more if the brand is extra sweet. For seniors, this sugar is more than just a number on a label. It spikes your blood sugar rapidly, followed by a crash, leaving you tired, foggy, and craving more food. Over time, repeated spikes contribute to insulin resistance, weight gain, and increased risk of type 2 diabetes. Consider Helen, a 67-year-old retired nurse. Every morning she enjoyed a can of baked beans on toast. She thought she was making a healthy choice because beans are good for protein. But over months she noticed her waistline expanding, her energy dipping in the afternoon, and her blood sugar creeping up. When we looked at her diet, the culprit was clear. The sugar in canned beans, combined with other processed foods, was quietly sabotaging her health. Switching to plain, boiled beans at home with a sprinkle of herbs completely changed her energy and stabilized her blood sugar. The second hidden threat is salt. Canned baked beans often contain 400 to 500 milligrams of sodium per half-cup serving. For seniors, who are more sensitive to salt, this adds strain to the heart and blood vessels. High sodium stiffens arteries, increases blood pressure, and can lead to fluid retention in the legs, ankles, and feet. This combination makes simple daily activities, like walking, climbing stairs, or even standing for long periods, more tiring and stressful. And while beans are naturally high in fiber, the canning process often diminishes some of the nutrients, especially when combined with sugar and salt. That means the very food that could support digestion, regulate blood sugar, and feed healthy gut bacteria may end up doing the opposite if canned and sweetened. For seniors, maintaining gut health is critical because a healthy gut supports immune function, muscle strength, and overall energy. Another factor rarely discussed is additives and preservatives. Many canned baked beans contain modified starches, phosphates, and flavor enhancers. While these extend shelf life, They also increase the body's acid load and constrain kidneys, organs already working harder with age. For someone over 60, chronic exposure to these additives can lead to subtle but real decreases in kidney function, which may not show up until complications arise years later. It's easy to underestimate the cumulative effect. One can here, one can there, and before you know it, your diet is loaded with sugar, salt, and chemicals that quietly affect circulation, heart health, and energy levels. Seniors often dawn to realize that even foods that look healthy can carry hidden threats when processed or canned. But the solution is simple. Swap canned baked beans for plain, dried beans or frozen varieties. Soak and boil them at home, or prepare a slow-cooked batch for the week. You can still enjoy the taste you love by adding a touch of honey or a squeeze of fresh tomato instead of the thick, sugary syrup. Add herbs like thyme, rosemary, or smoked paprika for flavor, and pair the beans with a source of protein like eggs, chicken, or tofu. This combination keeps your muscles fueled, your energy steady, and your heart protected. I also want to share a story about Frank, a 70-year-old retired teacher. Frank loved canned baked beans at lunch and dinner. Over time, he developed mild ankle swelling and noticed his afternoon walks were harder. Once he replaced the canned beans with homemade beans and reduced other processed foods, he lost the bloating, felt more energetic, and even regained the stamina to walk a mile without stopping. He told me, "I didn't realize something as simple as beans could make such a difference in my strength and comfort." Canned baked beans are deceptive. They are marketed as healthy, even wholesome, but the combination of sugar, salt, and preservatives turns them into a hidden threat for seniors. Every spoonful can spike blood sugar, strain the heart, and silently reduce energy levels. But when you replace them with fresh or home-prepared beans, the difference is almost immediate. Your energy improves, your circulation benefits, and your muscles receive the nutrition they need to stay strong and mobile. And there's a broader lesson here, one that applies to all canned foods. Convenience is tempting, especially when cooking feels tiring or time-consuming. But convenience should never come at the expense of your independence, your mobility, or your long-term health. Your body communicates with you every day in subtle ways: fatigue, swelling, shortness of breath, or weak muscles. Listening to those signals and choosing the right foods, fresh, nutrient-dense, and low in hidden sugar and salt, is one of the most effective ways to maintain strength and vitality after 60. In summary, canned baked beans may appear healthy, but for seniors they present multiple risks. 1. High sugar content leading to blood sugar spikes and insulin resistance. 2. Excess sodium straining the heart, arteries, and circulation. 3. Preservatives and additives that stress kidneys and digestion. 4. Reduced nutrient quality due to processing. 5. Subtle energy depletion, muscle weakness, and bloating over time. Replacing them with plain, home-cooked beans allows you to enjoy the same comfort and taste without the hidden dangers. It supports your muscles, protects your heart, and gives you the energy to live independently and confidently. Food number 4. Canned fruit in syrup. Canned fruit. It looks bright, colorful, and healthy. Many seniors feel good reaching for a can of peaches, pears, or fruit cocktail. It's fruit, they say. It's natural, it's healthy. But when that fruit swims in thick syrup, it becomes something very different. It becomes a hidden sugar bomb. A silent threat to your energy, blood sugar, and overall health. The first and most obvious danger is the syrup itself. Many canned fruits are packed in heavy syrup, sometimes full of high fructose corn syrup or refined sugar. A single serving can contain 10 to 20 grams of sugar, the equivalent of several teaspoons. For seniors over 60, whose bodies metabolize sugar more slowly, this is a serious problem. Each spoonful spikes blood glucose, strains the pancreas, and over time contributes to insulin resistance, weight gain, and a higher risk of type 2 diabetes. I remember Barbara, a 68-year-old grandmother. She loved canned peaches with breakfast, thinking she was eating something light and healthy. Yet over months she noticed fatigue, a little extra weight around her belly, and an afternoon slump that made walking difficult. When we examined her diet, the culprit was obvious. The syrup in canned fruit was causing repeated blood sugar spikes, quietly undermining her energy and metabolism. After switching to fresh or frozen fruit without syrup, she regained steady energy, lost a few pounds naturally, and felt stronger on her daily walks. But sugar isn't the only hidden danger. Canned fruit also contains added preservatives and acids to keep it looking bright and fresh. These additives can cause subtle inflammation in seniors, affecting digestion, circulation, and even joint comfort. Inflammation may seem invisible at first, but over time it contributes to fatigue, muscle weakness, and stiffness, things seniors often dismiss as normal aging. Salt can even be present in some canned fruits. While it's not as common as in soups or meats, it's still a factor to consider. Sodium contributes to fluid retention and increases blood pressure. Combined with sugar, it becomes a stealthy duo, subtly affecting heart health, circulation, and kidney function. There's another hidden danger in the can itself. Many cans are lined with key BPA or similar chemicals. These hormone-disrupting compounds can leach into acidic or sugary fruit over time. BPA exposure has been linked to insulin resistance, muscle loss, bone weakening, and accelerated aging. For seniors, even small amounts of these chemicals matter because the body's ability to detoxify declines with age. Here's the ironic part. Fruit is naturally beneficial. It contains antioxidants, fiber, vitamins, and minerals that seniors desperately need. But when encased in syrup and preservatives, those benefits are compromised. Instead of fueling your body, canned fruit in syrup silently drains your energy and undermines your health. Let's talk about practical solutions. You don't have to give up fruit. Frozen fruits without added sugar are excellent. They retain nutrients and avoid harmful chemicals. Fresh fruits are ideal, but if storage or availability is an issue, rinse canned fruit thoroughly and avoid syrup. Some brands offer fruit packed in juice rather than syrup. These are better, but still read the label carefully. Pair fruit with protein or healthy fats like Greek yogurt or nuts to slow sugar absorption and keep blood sugar stable. I also want to share a story about Thomas, a 71-year-old retired accountant. Thomas loved canned fruit as a snack between meals. Over time, he gained weight and felt weaker during his daily walks. We replaced his canned fruit with fresh berries and a handful of nuts each morning. Within weeks, his blood sugar stabilized, his energy improved, and he started walking further without fatigue. He said, "I didn't realize something as small as fruit could affect me so much." Canned fruit in syrup is deceptive. It looks healthy, feels harmless, and tastes sweet. But for seniors, it is a stealthy source of sugar, preservatives, and chemicals that quietly attack metabolism, circulation, and muscle strength. Avoiding it, or replacing it with fresh or frozen alternatives, is a simple, powerful step toward better energy, steadier blood sugar, and stronger muscles. The lesson here applies broadly. Just because something looks healthy doesn't mean it is. Always look beyond the label and consider what's inside, not just the packaging. Your body, especially after 60, responds not just to calories but to the quality and composition of food. Sweet syrup might taste good, but it comes at a hidden cost your muscles, heart, and brain will pay for. And, in summary, canned fruit in syrup is dangerous for seniors because it 1. Contains excessive sugar that spikes blood sugar and promotes insulin resistance. 2. May contain additives and acids that increase inflammation. 3. Could contain sodium, contributing to fluid retention and higher blood pressure. 4. May leach BPA or other chemicals that disrupt hormones and accelerate aging. 5. Reduces the natural benefits of fruit, leaving muscles and energy undernourished. By switching to fresh, frozen, or rinsed juice-packed fruit, seniors can enjoy sweetness, fiber, and antioxidants without the hidden dangers, supporting muscle strength, circulation, and long-term health. Food number 5. Canned tomato products. Tomatoes. They are vibrant, full of antioxidants, and widely considered a cornerstone of healthy eating. Lycopene, the powerful antioxidant found in tomatoes, has been shown to protect the heart, reduce inflammation, and even support vision. But here's the problem. When tomatoes are canned, many of these benefits are overshadowed by hidden dangers. For seniors, canned tomato products, whether diced, paste sauce, or pureed, can quietly harm health in ways most people never consider. The first hidden risk is BPA, MO. Many cans are lined with bisphenol A, a chemical that prevents corrosion and preserves the contents. Tomatoes, being acidic, react with BPA more than most foods. Over time, small amounts of BPA leach into the tomato products. This chemical is an endocrine disruptor. For seniors, endocrine disruption matters enormously. It can accelerate muscle loss, weaken bones, and interfere with hormones that regulate blood sugar and circulation. The effect is slow, subtle, and cumulative, often showing up only years later, but the damage is real. Consider Margaret, a 69-year-old retired librarian. She loved her weekly spaghetti night, always relying on canned tomato sauce. Over time, she noticed fatigue, joint stiffness, and some loss of leg strength. She assumed it was just age, but when we examined her diet and lifestyle, canned tomato products were a frequent staple. By switching to fresh tomatoes or tomato sauces in glass jars, she reduced chemical exposure and began seeing small improvements in energy and joint comfort within weeks. Canned tomatoes also often contain added sugar and salt. Some tomato sauces, even those labeled low sodium, have enough sugar to spike blood glucose subtly with every meal. For seniors, repeated sugar spikes can contribute to insulin resistance, weight gain, and increased cardiovascular risk. Sodium increases fluid retention, raises blood pressure, and strains both the heart and kidneys. Combined sugar, salt, and BPA make canned tomato products deceptively harmful. Then there's the issue of acidity and stomach irritation. Tomato products are naturally acidic, and in canned form they can aggravate digestion in seniors, causing heartburn, bloating, or mild gut inflammation. Over time, these digestive issues can reduce nutrient absorption, leading to deficiencies in minerals like magnesium, potassium, and calcium, critical for seniors to maintain muscle and bone health. Now you may be thinking, but Dr. Tomatoes are so healthy, can't I just rinse or dilute them? The truth is, even rinsing cannot remove BPA or fully offset sugar and sodium content. The safest option is B, fresh tomatoes, or tomato products packaged in glass jars, or Meisung's BPA-free cartons. Cooking fresh tomatoes yourself preserves the lycopene and antioxidants while eliminating the hidden threats of cans. You can still enjoy pasta, sauces, soups, and stews, just in a safer, healthier form. I want to share a story about Robert, a 72-year-old retired engineer. He had always believed canned tomato products were healthy because he saw the word tomato and associated it with nutrition. But after years of relying on canned sauces, his energy levels were lower. His muscle strength in his legs declined, and he noticed swelling in his ankles. When he switched to fresh tomato sauces and incorporated more vegetables and lean proteins, he felt stronger, walked longer distances, and regained confidence in his mobility. He said, "I never realized how much the can itself was affecting me. Fresh tomatoes feel different. My body feels different." Canned tomato products are also deceptively calorie-dense. Some sauces add hidden oils and sugars, increasing caloric load without providing meaningful nutrition. For seniors, excess calories without quality nutrients contribute to unwanted weight gain, insulin resistance, and reduced mobility. Every extra pound adds pressure to joints, increases the risk of falls, and accelerates muscle decline. So, why does this matter so much? Because for seniors over 60, maintaining strong muscles, healthy circulation, and stable energy is essential. Every meal is an opportunity to either protect your body or stress it further. Canned tomato products, though seemingly harmless, often tip the balance toward harm. They are silent accelerators of inflammation, hormonal disruption, and metabolic stress. Let's summarize why canned tomato products are dangerous. 1. BPA exposure, leading to hormone disruption, muscle loss, and bone weakening. 2. Added sugar and sodium, spiking blood sugar and increasing blood pressure. 3. Acidity and gut irritation, which can reduce nutrient absorption. 4. Hidden calories, contributing to weight gain and joint stress. 5. Cumulative long-term harm, especially for seniors with slower metabolic and repair systems. The solution is simple: Choose fresh tomatoes or tomato products in glass jars or BPA-free cartons. Cook them yourself. Add herbs and spices for flavor and combine them with lean proteins and healthy fats. This approach preserves the natural antioxidants, supports circulation, strengthens muscles, and protects your long-term health. Now that we've explored all 5 of the worst canned foods, canned soups, canned meats, canned baked beans, canned fruit in syrup, and canned tomato products, it's time to pause and reflect. You might feel overwhelmed. After all, these foods are everywhere. They're cheap, convenient, and part of everyday life for millions of seniors. But here's the empowering truth. You have the power to change your health with every meal, starting today. Think of your body as a garden. Every food you eat is either fertilizer or poison. Some foods feed your heart, your muscles, your circulation, and your brain. Others, hidden in cans, slowly drain strength, energy, and vitality. The difference may not be visible overnight, but over weeks and months, your choices accumulate into real, tangible outcomes. Seniors who remove harmful canned foods from their diets often notice more energy, stronger legs, steadier blood pressure, better circulation, and improved overall strength. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning. Your legs feel strong. Walking down the stairs doesn't leave you breathless. Your joints move smoothly. Your energy is steady throughout the day. That can be your reality, not in a distant future, but in the weeks after making simple changes, replacing canned soups with homemade soups, swapping canned meats for fresh protein, boiling beans instead of reaching for the can, choosing fresh or frozen fruit instead of syrup, and cooking fresh tomatoes rather than opening a can. The most important lesson here is this: age does not have to define weakness. Being over 60 doesn't mean you must resign yourself to fatigue, muscle loss, or high blood pressure. Nutrition, even in small but deliberate steps, is profoundly powerful. Every meal is a chance to reclaim your health, independence, and vitality. The choice is yours, and it starts now, right from your pantry. I encourage you to take action today. Open your cupboard, examine every can. Ask yourself, does this serve my muscles, my heart, my circulation, and my energy, or does it quietly harm them? Replace what you must. Make your meals a source of strength, not a source of harm. Start small if you need to. Swap one meal at a time. Within days, you'll notice subtle improvements. Within weeks, those improvements grow into real, sustainable changes. Health after 60 isn't about deprivation. It's about wisdom. It's about choosing foods that nourish every cell, protect your heart, and give your muscles the fuel they need to keep you independent. Avoiding these 5 worst canned foods is not a punishment. It's an act of self-respect, an investment in your future, and a pathway to living fully, vibrantly, and joyfully in the decades ahead. Remember, every meal is a message to your body. Make that message one of strength, resilience, and care. Your muscles, your heart, your brain, and your independence deserve it. The pantry may hold hidden dangers, but it also holds your potential to make better choices. Open it wisely, and you can transform not just your meals, but your life. Start today. Replace, refresh, and reclaim your vitality, because age is just a number, and with the right nutrition, your body can remain strong, energetic, and fully alive.